Hey everybody, welcome to another Good E-Reader review video. Today we're going to check out the major comic apps on the Apple iPad. Of course, these apps are available on the iPhone as well and the iPod Touch. We have an iPad here and we're going to check out Dark Horse, Comixology, Marvel Comics, Madefire, and Comic Zeal. Each one of these brings different things to the table. We're going to go in order. Dark Horse has a lot of great properties. They have Star Wars, Terminator, they have a lot of stuff. First of all, I'll just show you like the app itself. So we have a Star Wars comic here. As you can see, it excels in portrait mode. If you're a Star Wars fan, Dark Horse is really the only game in town. They have a tremendous amount of content. So you could tap in the middle here, get Facebook and share options. You can see where you are in the comic book with the little scroll bar in the bottom. You can also hit the settings menu here, and you can do different transitions such as slide, fade, none, brightness, panel zoom, fit to width, clear cache. You can even write a review. So now that we looked at a comic, let's kind of just show you the store experience. So this is our collection here on a device and then in a cloud. Now this store actually takes a bit to load because they load a tremendous amount of graphics assets on one page. But you can see here Halo, the Strain, Star Wars, etc. So this is the featured stuff, and we'll go by series. You can see some of it does take a while to load, but you can see Aliens, Predator, Battlestar Galactica, Buffy. You know, there's a lot of properties that are only on Dark Horse and not found anywhere else. But as you can see, I mean, there's a lot of stuff here, so of course you have to have a little bit of patience. I like Dark Horse. They have a lot of kind of cool properties and a lot of great writers, so you may want to check that out. Even Robert Jordan, Wheel of Time. Okay, so Comics by Comixology is probably the most refined and most polished app out there. They have agreements with DC, Marvel, Archie, G.I. Joe, ton of different properties. So this is the app here. This is kind of what you could expect with reading a comic. So we are looking at Kick-Ass here, the comic that the new movie is based off of. So you can go fit to width, show 2 pages, guided view. You can see a lot more options here that were not on the Dark Horse app. You can get a sense of the pages, so you could easily scroll from one page to another. Let's show you the store experience. So this is the featured page. One of the cool things about Comixology is that they have a thing called Comixology HD. And this will give you, if you have an iPad 3 or an iPad 4, if you have a Retina display screen, you'll actually get higher quality images. It offsets that of being a real big drain on the memory. Normal comic editions that aren't HD are about 60 to 80 meg. Their CMX HD ones are 300 to 400 meg. So you want to make sure that if you're buying the iPad as an HD kind of comic consumption device, that you probably look at the 3264 or the 128. As you can see here, My Little Pony is heavy emphasis. It's a very popular series these days, but you can see that they're promoting a lot of stuff, staff picks. Very Apple in the way that they sort of do their presentation and layout. A lot of carousels. Introduces you to a lot of different properties, Justice League, Sonic the Hedgehog. things like that. Even if you're into The Walking Dead, this is probably the app that you want to get. Comics are very realistically priced. Okay, so the next app that we're going to look at is Marvel Comics, and Marvel Comics does some very interesting things with Marvel Infinite. You can see that it's a different way of doing things. Some panels are quite normal, and others you'll see effects happen. You can see it very evident here. Her expression changes, more text happens. You can see that the uploading bar is progressing with the story. So rather it being every frame is a different panel, this sort of does the opposite thing, where, as you can just see for yourself, it's very interesting. Marvel also has an AR function where if you buy the physical comic book and you use the back of your iPad's camera, you can actually see bonus features and effects. It can be everything from animations to comic book creators walking on and explaining what it took to construct that particular scene or the issue. We have actual Marvel AR footage on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/goodyreader if you want to check that out. So this is it's a very new thing, and you're not going to find a ton of this type of content, but know that this isn't all you're going to find with the Marvel app. You're going to actually find a number of other type of issues as well. So this is like your standard comic book. Much like Comixology, it has the guided view, and it's very refined compared to all of the competition. So you can go frame by frame. This frame by frame tends to work better if your tablet is in landscape mode instead of portrait. And of course this app is powered by Comixology, so you're going to find most of the same features as you would find in their official app. But it bears mention because there's a lot of kind of exclusive stuff on this app not found anywhere else. The next app we're going to look at is Madefire. Now, Madefire's claim to fame is signing a big deal with DeviantArt. DeviantArt is one of the largest artist communities out there. Photographers, artists, painters, animators, and whatnot. So this gives DeviantArt artists the ability to get comic books. Now, all these comic books on Madefire on the official app are actually free. You're going to see for a second what really makes Madefire stand out from any of the other apps that we've looked at. So this is the sort of main screen. Hey, that guy is moving. Now the cool thing about this app is not only do they include sort of pseudo animation, but they also do audio. And combining sort of motion comics and audio is a little bit more visceral of an experience than any other kind of comic app brings to the table. So this is the essence of Madefire technology. I find that this is very compelling and very interesting, and actually has a lot of potential. And this is all done by like indie artists, startup artists with not a lot of experience. So you could find some really hidden gems here. Much like in the world of webcomics, where there's a few prolific webcomics out there that really resonate with a lot of people and they do very well. And they're not really trained artists by any means. So I really suggest checking Madefire out. It's a free download. There's about 30 or 40 different free comics there. If you're into comics, check it out. Now the last app is Zeal. Now what Zeal does is it is basically one of those types of apps that allow you to load in your own CBZ, CBR, and PDF files. So you can just download, scan stuff from the internet, and then like load it in through iTunes. With the iPad, you have to actually plug it into iTunes, and then you could feed comics directly into the app. If you have an iPod or iPhone, you can actually just do it via Wi-Fi, but you do have to download Zeal for Mac, Zeal for PC, and then you actually have to download another app that basically will say convert a PDF file to a series of still images. That's very complex. I probably just recommend plugging into iTunes as the path of least resistance. But you can see here we have the Monster Manual, version 3.5. Supports full pinching and zooming. Now this is a PDF, it's not a CBZ or CVR. But for you comic downloaders, this might be an app that you guys actually might dig. It's not the most responsive app in the world, but it does have a number of options here, as you can see. We did turn the page turn animation off because it just basically flickers. It's not very robust at all. But the big allure of this is that if you download a lot of comics from the net, this is the app that you want. And it's fairly responsive. So this is my pick of the top 5 comic apps for the iPad and iOS in general. If you agree or disagree with any of my picks, please comment in this video below. And if you are watching this video off of our website or other websites, youtube.com/goodyreader is the channel name. My name is Michael, and you just watched a review on the best comic apps for iOS. Everybody take care.